Good morning everyone. I am at Sandgate, north of the Brisbane River, about 30 minutes drive from home. I've come to Sandgate this morning to do parkrun. Some of the runners that I'm coaching are having a crack at a 5k time, just to check where their fitness is at early in the year, but it's a good opportunity to put down a 5 kilometre marker early in the year so that you've got something to work off as we head into the road racing season and the cooler months. I'm still on a run-walk program, guys. I'm still taking it fairly easy on this knee. I will share some information about the knee. I saw a sports doctor during the week. Plus, this is the weekly vlog, so lots of running news to get through. We've got the London Marathon, the Dubai Marathon, the Valencia 10k to talk about. We've also got some weird running shoes to look at and some wacky races. So stick around. Let's go and get the Sandgate Park Run done, and then we'll crack on with some running news. Wow, what a busy morning it was at Sandgate Park Run. Almost 600 runners. Sandgate is one of the more picturesque Brisbane park runs, one of the more popular and one of the fastest courses, just a straight out and back flat course along the waterfront there. I continued with the walk run scenario that I've been using over the past couple of weeks. I haven't run at all this week. There was a little bit of discomfort in the knee, but nothing too painful. Just to elaborate on my visit to the sports doctor this week, he did confirm to me that it is that irritation in the knee joint from having no cartilage and the bone on bone action, which is causing the irritation and leading to the swelling around the knee. Now the swelling is above the knee, and the doctor explained to me that there's like a sac that sits above the knee below the quadricep muscle, and what's happening is that fluid is coming up, sitting in that sac, and that is causing the swelling. The ITB issue that I thought was a bit of a drama, he seems to think it is the quadricep tendon, and it is that fluid pressing against the tendon which is causing the pain. That pain has gone this week as the swelling has subsided, so that's a good thing. But I did have discussions with the doctor about what now, what can I do to prolong my running. He did suggest or recommend an injection into the knee of a gel-like substance called Durolane. I will talk more about Durolane after I get the procedure done in 2 weeks' time, but I have spoken to people who have had the injection that are runners, and they speak very highly of the results. It lasts about 12 months. I'm at the stage now where I need to look at this type of intervention to prolong my running. I can't continue to keep running the way I have been running and having that bone on bone irritation. I'll see how the Durolane goes. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I can only keep my fingers crossed and see what happens. Heaps of running news to get through this week, so I'm going to whiz through it as fast as I can because I don't want this video to get too long. Let's start with the Valencia 10k that was held last week. Valencia has become a real hotspot for fast running over the past few years. We've seen some incredibly fast marathon times there. I think the marathon is in December each year. Yomif Kajelcha is the world record holder in the half marathon, 57:30 on the Valencia half marathon course. And last week we saw Andreas Almgren set a new European record when he won the Valencia 10k in 26:53. But this was an incredibly fast race. There was 25 runners who finished under 28 minutes. And in the women's side, there was 5 that finished 30 minutes or faster. And just outside the top 25 in that men's race was British runner Alex Yeh, who is the Olympic triathlon champion. He ran 28:07 using the Valencia 10k as part of his preparation for the London Marathon in April. And that gives me a segue into the London Marathon. Organisers announced their elite fields for the April 25 marathon. Wow, these fields are stacked. You might remember in last week's weekly vlog, I said about the Boston Marathon lineups that I considered that they were some of the best runners assembled for a world marathon major in recent times. Well, London has gone above and beyond that. The men's field is incredible. The women's field is just spectacular. We've got the fastest 3 women marathon runners of all time. We've got Ruth Chepngetich, Tigista Sifa, we've got Safan Hassan, and we've also got Perez Chepchirchir. Probably got that name mispronounced, guys, so I do apologise, but she is the world record holder for a women's only marathon race. Incredible lineup. The men's is just as impressive, and in the last 36 hours we have learnt that Eliud Kipchoge has been added to that elite field for London. He's a 4-time winner of the London Marathon. We all know what happened to him at the Paris Olympics when he had to pull out with an injury when he was chasing his 3rd consecutive gold medal. But he is the GOAT of marathon running, and it's interesting to note here that he will be 40 when the London Marathon is held, which places him in the Masters category. So he's going to be going, I'm sure, after that Masters world record, which is held by his great rival Bekele. I think about 2:14, 12, 15. That's going to be interesting. But what a field they have for the London Marathon. We've got the reigning champion Alexander Matiso, Valencia winner Sebastian Soe, the Olympic champion Tamarit Tola, the New York champion Abdi Nagiyi, and leading a strong Australian contingent is the Aussie national record holder Andy Buchanan, a 2:06.22. Brett Robinson's also in the elite field, 2:07.31. And Jack Rayner, a very interesting starter here for me. He will no doubt be chasing a sub 2:10 and having run 2:11 at the Melbourne Marathon in October. Aside from Alex Yeh making his marathon debut, we also have a former half marathon world record holder making his debut in the marathon, Jacob Kiplimo. He's a 57:31 half marathon runner, so it's going to be extremely interesting watching him make his marathon debut. But what tremendous lineups we have for both the men and the women in London. It's going to be a cracking week of marathon running. We've got Boston on April 21, and then just a few days later, the London Marathon. If you enjoy marathon running, you want to make sure that you are tuned in to watch both of those events in late April. And before I move on from the London Marathon, let's wind back the clock to Paula Radcliffe. She's the former world record holder. Well, Paula has announced that she's going to be returning to the marathon after a 10-year hiatus. She won't be running London, but she is running Tokyo and Boston to complete her 6 stars as part of the World Marathon Majors. I'm going to be in Tokyo for the Tokyo Marathon. I'm not running, but I'm going to keep an eye out for Paula. Looking forward to watching and spectating the Tokyo Marathon early in March. Still on marathons, and the Dubai Marathon was held last weekend, and this was dominated by Ethiopian runners. The top 18 women were all Ethiopians, won by Bedetu Herpa, 2:18.27. It was a similar story on the men's side with the top 14 all from Ethiopia, won by Bute Gumechu in 2:04.51. But scouring through the results, a name stood out to me, Dennis Kimetto. The 42-year-old is a former world marathon record holder. He was the first man to run under 2:03 in a marathon race. His time in Dubai was 2:14.56. You might remember here on the channel a few weeks ago that I showed you a race day medal from the Cadbury Marathon. Well, the Cadbury Marathon was held in Hobart last weekend. No, I'm not going to show you the race day medal again, but something interesting did come out of the marathon, and that was a new world record best, well, unofficial world record best time for somebody running in a pair of Crocs. Yep, a pair of Crocs. Dan Kamak ran 2:49.21 to finish 11th overall. You couldn't miss him on course because he was wearing a bright yellow pair of Crocs. But interestingly, after the race, Dan said that he was never ever going to run another marathon in a pair of Crocs. Understandable. Now the winners on the day were Fraser Darcy for the men, 2:26.45, and Camille O'Donoghue for the women, 2:54.40. And while I'm on marathons and shoes, I noticed this on social media during the week. The first ever carbon plated super sandal running shoe called Through. This is no joke because Barnabas Kiplimo was wearing a pair of these super sandals when he won the Khon Kaen Marathon in Thailand last weekend, running, wait for this, 2:18.55. I tried to dig up some details about the Through super sandals, but I've got to be honest, the details were a little bit sketchy. From what I could work out, they're made by a company in Singapore called through. I just wonder whether these carbon plated super sandal shoes will take on. What do you reckon, guys? Let me know down in the comments. And it must be the week for weird and wacky things, because I noticed this, what is believed to be the first ever underground marathon in the UK. More than 100 people covered more than 90 laps at what was formerly the Royal Navy's headquarters for keeping track of troops on D-Day. Situated near Portsmouth and run by the Sussex Trail Events, which specialises in holding quirky marathons, the runners were required to wear helmets and use torches for safety. Absolutely bonkers. The winning time, 3 hours 42. While I was digging around and trying to find some information about the Underground Marathon, a couple of YouTube videos did pop up. So if you search Underground Marathon in the UK, I'm sure you'll be able to check out those videos. Whew. Wow, there was a lot of running news to get through this week, and it is only going to get busier and busier as we get deeper and deeper into 2025. Guys, I hope you are enjoying this bit of running news that I'm adding to the weekly vlog while I'm not doing much running at the moment while I nurse this knee condition. If you are enjoying it, make sure you let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to show this video and the channel some love by hitting that like button. Would really appreciate it. And share this video with your friends and the running community. And also, if you are not a subscriber to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that you'll be made aware of the next video when it drops here on the channel. That's it for this week's weekly vlog, guys. Really do appreciate it if you've made it all the way through to this point in the video. Wherever you are, take care, happy running, and I'll catch you in the next video real soon.